Hey everybody, it's Lauren from the Ravings and Reviews podcast. Just jumping in quick for a bit of a disclaimer to say that we had another technical mishap with this episode because for whatever reason, our broadcast software decided not to record our little fun, spunky intro for this episode. So it's going to fade in a little awkwardly into our first part of the episode where we just talk about some generic stuff. But hopefully you guys still enjoy the episode and still like what we have to say about this year's Oscars. So thanks for sticking with us and supporting us. Hope you enjoy the episode. For this week, we decided that since some recent events in movie history happened, I guess you could say that.
Yeah.
And that we are a movie review podcast, we should cover the Oscars that just happened. Was it
on March 12th?
March 12th. So that was a couple days after our
after the March Madness bracket. Yeah. Let me tell you, I had a blowout party for the Oscars.
You did? I love that.
I had a bunch of people over. I spent a lot of money on snacks and drinks, and it was an amazing time.
Well, it's a big deal. The Oscars are a huge, I want to say it's probably the biggest achievements that a movie can get.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, getting an Academy Award is better than critically. I mean, it means you're critically acclaimed, but it's like the gold star of movies to have that tacked onto your resume.
Yeah, if you look at Blu-rays in stores, especially a couple weeks after the Oscars, they'll have on the Blu-ray slipcover nominated for four Oscar awards. They'll use it for marketing. It's actually really advantageous to anyone's career financially just to be nominated for an Oscar, let alone win an Oscar.
Yeah, so. I mean, even getting nominated for an Oscar means that you're getting your name out there.
Right.
There are plenty of movies on this list this year that I had not heard of before thinking of reviewing of reviewing the award ceremony. And now that I've gone back and seen a couple clips and seen the directors and talked about these movies, it's made me really want to watch some of these movies that I didn't even see advertised all that much.
For sure, yeah.
I mean most of my exposure to movie trailers comes through YouTube ads.
Right.
But
yeah.
Even that,
movies like Tar and Triangle of Sadness weren't getting they don't have the budgets to be marketing as much as Top Gun Maverick, Avatar: The Way of Water. So yeah, there are, the Oscars. It's a lot of rigmarole. It's a lot of handshaking and butt kissing. But at the end of the day, sometimes they get it right.
Absolutely.
And some people that really deserve the awards are either nominated or win the awards. And as somebody who's watched the Oscars now for the last 4 years, I've watched them every single time they come out live. This was a really, really good year, both in terms of nominations and wins, I feel like.
I absolutely agree with you. I mean, I watched them after the fact. I didn't actually watch them live. Mm-hmm. But even still, getting all the results after the fact, I felt very satisfied by this year's Oscar wins more than I have been in any of the recent years.
The best year that we've had since this Oscars was the year that Parasite won Best Picture.
Definitely.
And that was at the 2020 Oscars.
Yeah, so it's been a good 3 years since the Oscars has had such a good year like this. I mean, definitely last year was no bueno.
Yeah, last year wasn't. Oh yeah, with the slap.
You forgot about the slap?
I was thinking about what won Best Picture, and I was no bueno. But
wait, what won Best Picture last year?
It was a movie called Coda. Not a bad movie by any means, but not nearly worthy of Best Picture in my opinion. But
what else was nominated? I don't remember.
Dune.
Oh, Dune.
Power of the Dog.
I didn't pay as close attention
Nightmare
to the Oscars
Alley.
I didn't pay as close attention to the Oscars last year as I did this year. So yeah, I probably wouldn't recognize any of the movies.
Fair enough. Yeah.
But yeah, I guess the point of this episode today is we're gonna kind of go through the line of all of the awards that were given out and take a look at the nominees and then take a look at the winners and kind of discuss like how we feel about it. Because like definitely this year was really important when it came to like historical events, like first times in history for the Oscars. And yeah, I watched so much behind the scenes role of the Oscars, and it's so interesting to see the actors' thoughts or like the minds behind the Oscars as they like talk about the award ceremony and how they're feeling. And the one from all that I covered in my research, I guess, finger quotes. I mean, I was just watching all of the Oscars YouTube videos.
Sure. Yeah.
The one word that I saw repeatedly used to describe the Oscars is overwhelming.
Sure.
Like the fact that you're with all of these different movie stars and huge figures in cinema.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
It's the biggest gathering of talent in Hollywood.
Oh, definitely. There were some huge names in the room at the 2023 Oscars.
Oh, yeah. And some huge names not in the room at the 2023 Oscars.
Yeah, that's true. Yes, some huge names because, I mean, the best actor from last year is currently banned from the Academy for 10 years.
Well, then but I wasn't even thinking about that.
Oh,
I was thinking
weren't.
about like Tom Cruise wasn't there.
Oh, yeah. Well, he was off filming something else.
Was
I'm
he?
pretty sure. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
I think he's filming for the next Mission Impossible.
Oh, okay. Great.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah, that'll be fun. Mm-hmm. But Tom Cruise wasn't there, and also James Cameron wasn't there.
Oh, he
which
wasn't.
some people were commented on.
Yeah.
Because his movie was up for Best Picture.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, that's really interesting that he wasn't there, especially for how big Avatar was.
For sure. But some people said he was working on his other Avatar movie as well.
Well,
so.
yeah.
Yeah, but certainly a jam-packed year for the Oscars.
Definitely jam-packed, and I guess just kind of getting general things out of the way just to cover ourselves whenever we post this and all the film critics come and eat us alive.
I am the film critic that they should be scared of.
Fear me. Go back to Mad Max. Witness me.
Witness me.
So, just a disclaimer, for when we actually get into reviewing the specifics of movies, Jack has seen a lot of these movies. I have not, and combined with both of us, we have not seen every single one of these movies.
No.
So it's really hard. It's really hard, especially for some of the smaller ones, like the documentary or the short films or a lot of the animated ones. It's really hard to watch every single movie.
Absolutely.
So,
once they announce the nominees, it's always, for the last few years, it's always like a little fun race to see how many of the movies nominated for Oscars I can watch before the ceremony. And this was one of the best years I've ever done in terms of how much I've watched. I think I saw 8 out of the 10 Best Picture nominees.
Oh, okay.
And quite a few of the other ones that even weren't nominated for Best Picture. So I did see quite a few this year. And I've got thoughts on all of them.
Yeah, I definitely have a lot of thoughts. Mm-hmm. So where do we want to start? We wanted to start with some of the lower and then work upwards. I think that would be the best way to do it.
Yeah.
So
let's get documentary short, documentary feature, and those ones out of the way, because I don't believe that you or me have seen either of them.
No, I have not, but I did look into them a little bit, and I don't have necessarily a lot of thoughts, but I think it's really cool that they were honored in this way, because documentaries are often the genre of film that's the most overlooked, and in my opinion, I'm not a documentary person, and you have to be kind of a specific person to documentaries recreationally.
I just watched a documentary at the Fargo Film Festival today.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
On what?
On an art thief, a couple that were art thieves, and their weird backstory and kind of legacy that they had.
Oh, okay.
It was very, very interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, when it comes to documentaries, I mean, for me specifically, I have to be really invested in the topic in order to like want to sit through a full documentary.
Fair enough.
But yeah, I guess we'll kind of get into it with the documentary feature film. We'll go with feature film, then short film, because that's the order I have them on my sheet.
Sure, works for me.
So for documentary feature film, the nominees were Navalny. Okay, Navalny, All That Breathes, All the Beauty and the Bloodshed, Fire of Love, and A House Made of Splinters.
Yes.
And the one that won was
Navalny.
Yep. You literally told me, and then I immediately forgot how to pronounce it. I believe it's Russian.
It's about
Russia.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I don't. It very well could be Russian or made by Russian filmmakers, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I've not seen that one. I haven't seen any of these.
Okay.
The only one I've really heard a lot of buzz about is Fire of Love. Mm-hmm. I've heard a lot about that one. I think it's on Disney Plus.
Okay.
I've heard it's very good. And then All the Beauty and the Bloodshed too just got added to HBO Max. That's about the family who like owned the major pharmaceutical company that was responsible for the opioid epidemic.
Oh, okay.
So a documentary about the family that owned that company. So
that's really interesting.
A very interesting premise. I would like to watch, honestly, all of these. All of them sound very interesting to me.
Yeah, I mean, especially like seeing the people in person at the ceremony too also made it kind of clear that like maybe these are movies that I should check out if like the Academy wanted them enough to like nominate them. So
sure, yeah. So congratulations to all the nominees for that.
Yeah, so that was Daniel Rower, Odessa Ray, Diane Becker, Melanie Miller, and Shane Boris. Those are the names behind that one. So moving on to documentary short film, the nominees were The Elephant Whisperers, Haul Out, How Do You Measure a Year, The Martha Mitchell Effect, and Stranger at the Gate. And the winner was The Elephant Whisperers.
Yep. And I haven't even heard of any of these ones.
I believe that one is about elephants. From the clips that I've seen, I believe the documentary is about elephants in some way.
Fair enough, Fair enough. It's called The Elephant Whisperers.
Might as well be Elephant Whisperers. So congratulations. I'm going to butcher these names. I'm so sorry. Kartiki Gonsalves and Gunit Monga. I'm pretty sure. I'm very sorry. I'm going to butcher a lot of names in this, so I'm very sorry.
You're fine.
For how I'm going to say these names.
They do it at the ceremony. They butcher the names.
They do.
So,
I mean,
so I think we get a pass.
What was that one? I think it was the Tonys. I think like John Travolta.
Adele Dazeem.
Adele Dazeem. The wickedly talented Adele Dazeem.
Adele Dazeem. Yeah. Ooh.
Oof. Big oof.
Yeah.
All right. So I guess then we can kind of start moving around here. What would be next in your opinion, like tier-wise? I'm going to trust you for a lot of this because like I don't follow the Oscars that closely, but I did this year because I found myself enjoying it a lot more this year. So
for sure, we could do like an animated short next.
Sure. Okay.
Get the shorts out of the way.
Okay. So the Best Animated Short Film, the nominees were The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse, The Flying Sailor, Ice Merchants, My Year of Dicks, and An Ostrich Told Me the World is Fake, and I Think I Believe It. And the winner was The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse.
These are the most animated short titles I've ever heard in my life.
Absolutely, especially those last two.
Yeah,
I remember
like
copy pasting that. I was like, is that real? Is that real? Like,
yeah, no, it is.
God.
It is. So I got the chance to see all of these actually at our at one of our theaters. They had like a reel of all of them and a showcase of all of them. So I got to see them, and I believe you've seen the winning one, correct?
Yes, I have seen The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse, and it's definitely one of my favorite animated short films that I've ever seen.
Okay.
It's very heartfelt, and it's got a lot of very good messages inside it. It's based on a poem book, I believe, and I really want to buy the book now after watching this short because it's just so...
Is it based on a book?
Yes.
Okay, that makes so much sense because while I was watching it, it's beautifully animated,
Absolutely,
gorgeously animated, looks really great. But I did think it would work a lot better as a book than as a movie or a short.
Yeah.
I did not love this one.
Okay.
I really liked the animation. The animation was amazing. But in terms of like what was happening story-wise and stuff, it wasn't for me. I went with it to a friend, or I went to see these shorts with a friend, and like he was crying during this one. So like clearly like this one has really hit with a lot of people. It just didn't connect with me personally.
Yeah, it definitely hits a lot of emotional notes, especially when it comes to like valuing your own self-worth and like a lot of philosophy that is kind of, it's sometimes forgotten by most people in our busy world. And I really enjoyed it just for the like themology alone. But you're absolutely right. The animation is incredible.
Yeah.
It feels kind of like a picture book.
It does. It really
So-
does. Yeah, they did a fantastic job.
Yeah.
When it came to that, for sure.
So this was Charlie Maxey and Matthew Freud. So congratulations for your very talented win.
Yeah. And then the other ones, just really quick, I'll give a little
Oh yeah, you've
10-second
seen these.
review.
Yeah, go ahead.
The Flying Sailor was my personal favorite out of all of these. It's about a real story about a sailor who, like, back in the early 1900s, two ships, one carrying obscene amounts of explosives, ran into each other at a harbor, and the ship exploded, and it blasted this sailor, I think 2 kilometers away from where he originally started. The blast ripped all of his clothes off, and he woke up perfectly fine, unscathed, 2 kilometers away.
Wow.
And this is a real story. And so the animated feature takes a very like kind of artistic approach to it. He's like flying through the air, and he's like remembering his like childhood and his family and all these like significant moments in his life. It's a really cool short, and I would recommend that anybody who can watch it find it. Same recommendation for The Ice Merchants as well. That was a very well made short film. Really gorgeous animation, really good use of color and like proportion. Just a really gorgeous, sweet movie. I liked it a lot. My Year of Dicks is an interesting one. So I saw it, and it was my least favorite out of all of them. But then the more I've thought about it, it's actually, I kind of like it a lot more now. The more I've thought about it. It's just about a girl in high school, and she's trying to get laid, basically.
Oh, okay.
And there's like 5 different little stories. It's about 20 minutes long, the short film. There's about like 5 segments with her like having different encounters with boys during her years in high school. And it's a very like vulnerable, intimate story, and it's also very funny. It's really funny. I mean, it's called My Year of Dicks, so it's kind of tongue-in-cheek.
Yeah.
And then lastly, An Ostrich Told Me the World Is Fake, and I Think I Believe It. That one was good, but it didn't really like leave any lasting impact. It was stop motion, which I always love a good stop motion, but it felt more like a YouTube video than like an Oscar-nominated short. So yeah.
Well, that's a very good insight to those. I mean, we've talked about animation so much on this podcast. I mean, we covered Toy Story earlier this year. We've covered stop motion like Jack Stauber and Coraline and The House and a bunch of different types of animation, and it's a lot of fun to watch. So
yeah, absolutely.
Do we want to do the live action short next?
Yeah, let's do that one.
So for the live action short film, the nominees were An Irish Goodbye, Ivalu, Le Pupille, Night Ride, and The Red Suitcase. And the winner was An Irish Goodbye. So I only saw a couple clips of this.
Okay.
I don't necessarily remember the story all that much, but I do remember watching the acceptance speech and watching an entire crowd of people sing happy birthday because the Oscar ceremony was happening on one of the main actors' birthdays, and I believe he has Down syndrome.
Yeah. Yep.
So, and I believe that's kind of a central part of the movie itself.
Oh, gotcha.
I believe that's don't quote me on that. I'm not 100% sure because I have not seen this, but yeah, it was his birthday, and this entire crowd of people in the like showroom at the Oscars was singing him happy birthday, and that was really nice.
Yeah, that was very cute. It was a very nice moment. I'm happy they won, and I'm happy that he got his moment in the spotlight.
Yeah, it's really cool to see that from people, like to see people get that kind of validation. So.
Yeah, it was very sweet. So, and I haven't seen any of these ones, so congratulations to all the nominees.
So that was Tom Berkeley and Ross White. So congratulations.
This was the I think this was the 95th Oscars?
Yeah, it was the 95th
95th Oscars, which means in 5 years it will be the 100th Oscars.
That's crazy.
That is enough time for me to conceivably make a short film and have it nominated at the 100th Oscars. And my goal is to win an Oscar at the 100th Oscars.
Wow. Okay.
That's my goal.
I'm rooting for you, my man. I'm rooting for you.
I want
this.
Amazing.
I want this. Yeah, that's nuts. Thinking about it's gonna be 100 years.
Yeah.
Like 100 years of the Oscars in 5 years.
Yep.
So in 2028. 2028.
If it's 5 years from now.
Yes. We already established I can't do math.
The first Oscars was in 1927.
Okay. Okay, so it would be because like if we're looking at like 100 years.
Because the Oscar ceremony took place in 1927, but it was
for
four movies
that
from
come out
1926.
the year from 1926.
Yeah, exactly.
So this Oscars, even though it took place in 2023, was for movies that were released in 2022.
Precisely. Yep.
So.
Yep.
All right. So let's see. Do we want to do? I'm not sure. Do we want to go straight to doing animated feature yet?
You know what we should have done is we should have done the bag technique that
What's the bag?
For the.
For
the matches. We should have picked randomly
out
of
like,
here.
For me, I don't really see a tier with this. I just see like all of the names.
Yeah,
so,
there's kind of just like awards that people like care about more than others. So just some of the lower, not lower, not like they're less valuable.
Yeah,
but like
absolutely not.
The awards that people have seen less from.
Yeah.
We can. What'd you say? The
animated feature film.
Sure. Yeah. Let's do that.
Okay.
That was the very first one they announced at the Oscars. Actually.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So the animated feature film nominees were Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, Marcel the Shell with Shoes On. That's a tongue twister. Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, The Sea Beast, and Turning Red. And the winner was Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio.
Yep.
So. I honestly don't know how I feel about this one. I did not see Pinocchio. I did not see it. But I do kind of feel like I don't know. My sister saw the Marcel the Shell with Shoes On. Mm-hmm. Again, that's such a tongue twister. But yeah, I also really liked the like stylized animation of Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. Mm-hmm. I think that might have like drove up my enjoyment to that one a little bit more. But I think Guillermo del Toro is a fantastic filmmaker. I think he's amazing.
So I'm really ashamed. I haven't seen Pinocchio, Marcel the Shell, or Puss in Boots.
Okay.
These are pretty big this year. Like all of these movies have been really well received, and I love Guillermo del Toro. Mm-hmm. He made Pan's Labyrinth.
Pan's Labyrinth is one of my favorite movies.
Absolutely, it's one of my favorite movies of all time. So I was so happy to see him win. Just so he could get up there and give his nice speech about how animation is a real genre of filmmaking.
Yeah, that was really cool too. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Also made history with this because Guillermo del Toro became the first person to win Best Picture, Best Director, and Best Animated Feature in Oscars history because he previously won Best Picture and Best Director for The Shape of Water in 2017.
Yep.
So. Yeah, it's so cool to see these directors get this kind of acclaim too, because like that's a big deal to get like Best Picture, to like Best Picture, Best Director, and Best Animated Feature. Mm-hmm. That's a big 3 award.
I couldn't think of anyone better to get it than him. He's such a genuine, like, nice guy, and he's incredibly talented and creative. So, I might watch these movies, and I might, maybe Marcel the Shell might be my favorite one, or even Puss in Boots. But even if maybe I might end up liking one more than the Pinocchio movie, I'm very happy he won.
Yeah. Well, the Pinocchio, the Pinocchio movie was stop motion animated.
Right.
So,
yeah.
And I thought it was really cool. I mean, I'm pretty sure like all the animated ones are relatively stylized when it comes to when I talk about stylized animation, I'm talking about like not the stereotypical like soft face Pixar kind of animation. I'm talking about like Into the Spider-Verse, the like
Isle of Dogs.
Yeah.
Like Wolf Walkers.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's a new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie coming out that's
right.
kind of that similar. Like it feels a lot more tactile, and it's a newer take on animation that's been kind of divisive in the community. I love it. I think it's a really good take on it, and I really want to see newer movies with that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Spider-Verse was amazing.
Absolutely.
Still have to see Puss in Boots, but I'll get around to that one eventually.
All right, so let's see. Where do we want to jump to next? We could do
adapted and original screenplay.
Sure. Yeah, let me just find those. I have a full list of these, and I'm currently just scrolling up and down through a Word document to try to find these.
It's down lower by writing. Because I think they're alphabetized.
They are alphabetized. I'm realizing that right now. Yep. Okay. Yep, I see it now.
All right, so we can start with adapted screenplay.
Sure.
For those of you that might not know, adapted screenplay just means that this was a screenplay, which was a script for a movie, which was based on a pre-existing IP or material. It can, a lot of the times it's books, but it doesn't always have to be. It can be based on a character or based on another movie even. And we have some examples of that here. So the nominees for this category were Women Talking, All Quiet on the Western Front, Glass Onion, A Knives Out Mystery, Living, and Top Gun Maverick.
And the winner was Women Talking.
Yes.
So
yep.
that was a nice one to see win. I mean, I will say I really loved the speech that the writer gave at the event itself, because she kind of did make a little jab at the Academy for she was like, I'm glad the Academy is actually recognizing women in writing, or like the fact that like women are talking in the same vernacular.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I'm butchering that quote, but like it was very nice, and I'm glad that I really liked her speech that she gave when that one won. So congratulations to Sarah Polly for her win.
Yeah, I'm kind of happy that I would consider that nomination to be a bit more of an underdog nomination.
Oh, yeah.
Because these are some like Glass Onion, Top Gun Maverick, All Quiet. Those are pretty big movies, as opposed to Women Talking, which is a little bit of a smaller one. So, I'm always rooting for a good underdog win.
Yeah.
I've not seen Women Talking, so
I have not either,
I don't know.
But...
I don't technically have an opinion on whether it was deserved or not, but I'm happy about it.
Yeah. So now we move on to writing of an original screenplay.
Yep.
So this one, the nominees were Everything Everywhere All at Once, The Banshees of Inisherin, yeah, The Fabelmans, Tar, and Triangle of Sadness. And the first of many, the winner was Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yeah.
My God, this movie swept.
It did sweep. It
absolutely swept.
This was the year of Everything Everywhere All at Once, and then All Quiet on the Western Front.
Definitely.
Those two movies swept up a lot of awards.
Well, yeah, because I mean, not to get too far into it, because we are still moving down the list. Everything Everywhere All at Once was nominated for 11 awards.
Yeah.
And won 7. Mm-hmm. That is bonkers.
It is bonkers.
That's so many.
It is a lot. It's like that picture of Billie Eilish at the Grammys, like holding 6 Grammy awards in her arms.
Yeah, it's like everybody was winning Oscars that day, and it was so crazy. And All Quiet on the Western Front was very similar. They were nominated for 9 awards and won 4.
Yeah, they got a lot more like a technical ones.
They definitely did get more technical ones, but like,
yeah,
dude, Everything Everywhere All at Once. That movie was nuts.
And you just saw that recently, didn't you?
I did. Yeah, I watched it last night.
Last night? Oh,
yes.
I didn't know that we were talking that recent.
Yeah,
okay.
it was that recent. I watched it last night.
Okay.
Because I listen, the movie's been around for a long time now. Mm-hmm. And I definitely remember when I saw the trailer, I was kind of weirded out a little bit. I was like, are we sure, like, a multiverse movie? Am I really going to enjoy this? Because, like, multiverse movies are very hit or miss for me. Because, like, I mean, the the Marvel multiverse is fine because I kind of grew up with that, but like everything else has been kind of bland.
Mm-hmm.
This movie blew that expectation out of the water.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. I loved this movie so much.
I'm very glad you liked it. I'd find this movie like impossible to not like on some level.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It's just connected with so many people, and I think that's why it kind of swept so many awards. And I've heard other people say this, but it's a really good movie to kind of encapsulate the feeling, the year of 2022. You know, it's very, you know, everything everywhere. There's all this stuff. There's all this content. It's frantic. It's hectic. There's a lot of changes going on in the world right now. And this is a really good one to kind of capture that essence of the year.
Yeah.
And so I'm very happy that it won Best Original Screenplay.
Yeah, I am too, because I loved the writing in this. I thought especially the character writing.
Yeah.
I think the writers did a really good job with this screenplay and like being able to, you know, cultivate characters that you can really, really believe and you can really like you can really enjoy watching on screen as they go around doing whatever they can.
Yeah.
This movie is amazing, and we are going to talk about it numerous more times throughout this
We'll
podcast.
talk about the other aspects of it. This will just
Definitely.
end up being an Everything Everywhere All at Once review.
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
I do want to touch on some of the other, because like I said, this was a really good year for nominations. And so even though I loved Everything Everywhere All at Once, it's easily in my like top 2 movies of this year or last year. I would have been perfectly happy if The Banshees of Inisherin had won and Tar. Tar is actually my favorite movie of the year.
Really?
It is
Okay.
such a mind-blowingly well-made film. And the screenplay is just to die for.
Nice.
It is so amazing. But those two don't have the kind of like scrappiness that Everything Everywhere All at Once does.
Yeah.
And I think that's what kind of connected with people a bit more. So it makes sense that one was the one that won. And honestly, it should have won because it's an amazing screenplay.
Oh, yeah. Well, the Banshees of Inisherin is now on my watch list after seeing the awards, because I hadn't heard of that movie.
Oh, yeah,
until I like got into it, and then I realized that Colin Farrell and Brendan Gleeson play the 2 main leads.
Yeah.
And my first thought was In Bruges. Like that was
Well, it's by the same director.
I know. Yeah.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
by
yeah,
the
yeah.
same director. So I was like, oh my God, this is like the same thing.
Yeah.
I love that.
You got to check it out.
Yeah, I mean,
It's-
I love Colin Farrell and I love his work. So that was really cool.
Yeah,
So-
absolutely, for sure.
So congratulations to Daniel Kwan and Daniel Scheinert. That's the first time, and it's not the last time we're going to say that
Nope.
in this podcast.
Yep.
So, all right, where do we go next? We could why don't we do music and sound?
I was thinking that actually.
Okay,
Yep.
so we'll start with best original score, and then original song, and then we can go to sound and other stuff. So,
Yeah.
all right, so we'll go with music original score first.
All right.
So, the best music for original score, the nominees were All Quiet on the Western Front, Babylon, The Banshees of Inisherin, Everything Everywhere All at Once, and The Fabelmans. And the winner was All Quiet on the Western Front. So this is the first of many awards that All Quiet on the Western Front got.
Have you seen All Quiet on the Western Front?
It was on my watch list to get to, but I never actually ever got to it.
Sure.
So.
I mean, it's on Netflix. It's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Hopefully. But,
Hopefully. Netflix, don't do it.
All Quiet on the Western Front was a really good movie. It was a very well-made war movie. I do not think it deserves Best Original Score.
Really?
It was one of my biggest flaws with the whole movie was the score.
Oh.
So like there'll be like young fresh recruits that haven't seen war, and they'll be, you know, being driven onto the battlefield in these big trucks, and you know, it's kind of you're building tension because you know what's going to happen to these kids, right? And it's very heavy and tense. And the way that the music chooses to communicate this is really weird. So it'll be like just normal music for a war movie. And then all of a sudden, unprompted, there'll be these heavy synth hits where it'll be like, like really like trailer music almost.
Oh.
Really weird. And it took me out of the movie every time it did it. every single time.
Okay. That makes sense. I mean, those kind of strong hits in such a, I mean, not really calm and serene. It's a war movie, but like in terms of like the, you know, the score itself, like having something that big and jarring is not the most fun on the ears.
No. So I was not super happy with that one.
I mean, I'm kind of shocked that a John Williams score didn't get it because he scored The Fabelmans.
Yeah, the reason he didn't get it for that is because it's so generic. It was really, I saw The Fabelmans, and everything about that movie is like the most like by the books thing you've ever seen.
Really?
In my opinion.
Well,
a lot of people would disagree with me.
Well, I mean, from seeing the clips, I mean, I don't know the story. I don't know anything about it, but I do. Steven Spielberg wrote it, right? Or was he?
Yeah.
Did he directed? Or it was
he
like
wrote it and directed.
He wrote it and directed it with. I think he wrote it with somebody else.
Probably.
It was like a co-writing thing.
Probably.
But. Yeah, I guess in that same vein, congrats to Volker Bertelmann for your win on score, even though Jack doesn't necessarily agree with you.
I don't agree with it. I haven't seen Babylon, but I've heard the score is amazing.
I've wanted to see Babylon too.
And the Banshees of Inisherin has a really good, well-fitting for that story score. I put it on when I'm like trying to relax or do some work. The score is really good for like that kind of stuff. So yeah, I like that. I'd have been happy if that had won, but yeah.
All right.
Up next we have music original song. So this is a song that was written specifically for the movie by an artist. And the nominations were Natu Natu, Applause, and I'll say which ones these are songs for. So Natu Natu was an original song for a movie called RrR. Applause was for a movie called Tell It Like a Woman. Hold My Hand, which was for Top Gun Maverick. Lift Me Up, which was for Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. And then This Is a Life for Everything Everywhere All at Once. And the winner was Natu Natu.
Yeah.
And let me just say, they came out on stage to perform this song during the Oscars. And I have to report that it was a banger.
Yeah.
It was a really fun, well choreographed, you know, goofy, over the top song, and I liked it a lot, honestly.
Yeah, I thought it was a really good performance watching them dance that on stage, and even the clips, because like this is it's an Indian movie.
Yeah.
That this was nominated, or this was from. So I have not seen it, but like even the clips that I saw in some of the like background material of like these are all the winners, you know, those kind of videos, I really thought it was interesting. And it's also really interesting because Natu Natu is the first Telugu song to win in this category, and it is also the first song from an Indian film to win in this category.
Yeah, so that was historic, actually.
Yeah, very historic. Yeah, and it's the first time that an Indian feature film has won in a category that's not Best International Film.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think we've already kind of mentioned it, but like this Oscars was pretty historic.
Yeah, there was some really good stuff that went on here.
Yeah, well, we'll get to it more like when it comes to like further down the line of getting to more of the awards, but in terms of just that in itself, that's pretty historic. So let me just scroll back up here. So congratulations to Kiravani for the music, and lyrics by Chandra Bose. So that was best music for original song.
Yep.
So I guess just kind of keeping in that same vein, we'll go with best sound.
Yeah.
So the nominees for this one were Top Gun Maverick, All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar: The Way of Water, The Batman, and Elvis. And the winner was Top Gun Maverick.
So there's a couple interesting things for this category. So for Top Gun Maverick, one of the only Best Picture nominees I have not seen. I still have not seen Top Gun Maverick yet. Have you seen that?
I did not. No.
Okay, so we're on the same boat.
We're
here.
kind of in the same boat, but like my family is very a Top Gun family.
Oh, sure.
My stepdad loves Top Gun. We have a poster of it in our basement. So
gotcha.
like he was really into this, and I think he saw it multiple times in the theaters with my mom.
Okay, yeah,
So,
I know my dad went to see it as well
yeah.
in the theaters. Yeah. So this was the Top Gun Maverick fans were very happy about this. They were happy that it got at least one win at the Oscars.
Yeah, I'm glad it didn't go home empty-handed because I did hear some really good things about that movie. So I'm glad to hear it wasn't one of those like sequels that just doesn't live up to the name of the original.
Yeah.
So I'm glad it didn't go home empty-handed.
Mm-hmm. This is one of the few nominations for the Batman as well. Mm-hmm. And I think the Batman had pretty decent sound in it.
I think so too. Yeah.
So I would have been happy if that had won as well. I know Brad would have been happy if the Batman had won as well.
Definitely, yeah. He would have been really happy if the Batman had won, but.
And this is the first category that Elvis is making an appearance for the nomination.
Yes. I did not see that one.
I did, unfortunately.
Oh, it was bad. Oh, no.
I did not like Elvis at all. I think it was one of the worst movies that was nominated for anything at the Oscars this year.
Really?
Yeah. We'll get into it a little bit more when some more bigger categories for it come. But yeah, I was not a fan of Elvis.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, I mean, Morbius didn't show up on any of these awards,
well,
so I think we're good there.
No, that's true. That is very true.
But yeah, I guess so. That covers sound. I'm wondering if maybe we should take a break and come back.
I was just thinking the same thing. Yep.
Yeah. All right. So that is, I think, is that about halfway?
Probably about half. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I think we will cut to a quick break, and then we will come back and cover the rest of the awards. Stay tuned. We will be right back. All right, we're back, and it is time to get back to our awards ceremony, I guess.
Have you ever thought about what you would say if you won like a big award at an award
God,
show?
I'd be terrified.
I have like thought about this so much.
Really?
Like, yeah.
Well, because like you got to make it like super powerful and super like driven.
Well, that's the thing, and I feel like for me, I wouldn't like. I don't know. I wouldn't try and like impart a message onto anybody. I would just like, mostly when I try and think of my speech, it would be like, okay, I can't forget anybody, because if I forget to thank anybody, that would be horrible. So I'm like, okay, so I have to thank my parents. I would be like number one. Then I have to thank my crew, then my actors, then my friends, then the YouTubers I listen to, like all these people, because I want to credit everybody for the reason that I'm on stage.
Oh,
right?
yeah, and like plenty of people did do that for this.
Oh,
like,
100%. Yeah,
especially for like the individual like actors, like everybody like credits like it's definitely, it's never one person winning an award.
No, everyone starts off,
even if it lists that one person's name on that like trophy, it's still like everybody. There's a lot more people involved with that award than just one person.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So I feel like that's what intimidates me the most, is that it's like the winning an Oscar is just something so much bigger than yourself. Like it's so much. It's like it's for something that you've created, something that you've seen like blossom from just an idea into a fully fledged thing.
Yeah.
Like I've been saying it this whole time, but like that's just so crazy and surreal. That's why I myself, I mean, I've made some short films myself. I've had like a heart for filmmaking for as long as I can remember. Mm-hmm. But like seeing myself win an Oscar has never ever crossed my mind.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just because like I just don't think. I mean, maybe not. Just it's just because I don't think I'm that good. But like at the same time, that's just such a prestigious award.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's certainly like a daydream. But
oh yeah.
But I got my list of people ready to thank.
Yeah.
And Ravings and Reviews will get a shout out.
Oh, that's 100%. So nice.
I gotta credit one of the one of the coolest projects I've worked on.
Hell yeah.
So,
Hell yeah.
one of the first projects I've worked on long term. So
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, this podcast will definitely get a shout out. But
All
yeah.
right. I guess we will now get back into it, reading the rest of the awards that we have. So we're going to jump back a little bit and talk about the Best International Feature Film.
Yeah.
That was awarded at the ceremony. So the nominees for this one were All Quiet on the Western Front, which is from Germany, Argentina 1985, which is from Argentina, Close from Belgium, EO from Poland, and The Quiet Girl from Ireland.
Yep.
And the winner for this one was All Quiet on the Western Front. So
yeah, it's kind of goofy that they do this. Like, there's one in Best International Feature Film, and then it's also nominated for Best Picture. So it's like, it's like giving the award away early. Like, you already know, like how that wouldn't make any sense if like The Quiet Girl had won over All Quiet on the Western Front, but The Quiet Girl wasn't nominated for Best Picture. Like, it wouldn't like compute.
Yeah.
So because if if it beat All Quiet, then it should be
that should be in Best Picture.
Right. So when International does one for International and Best Picture, I'm not even saying they shouldn't do that, because a lot of the time international films deserve Best Picture or least a nomination. I mean, Parasite was the shining example of that.
Absolutely.
But it does make the International Feature Film category a little bit more redundant.
It does kind of, yeah. I mean, especially when it comes to a feature film getting nominated for this category and Best Picture, like you said, it just feels a little redundant, but still, it's still a pretty big achievement to have an international film get to the level that All Quiet on the Western Front has.
Absolutely. And again, congratulations to all the nominees. This is one category that I wish was bigger.
Oh, me too.
I wish it had more
Absolutely.
slots. I mean, there's so many countries and there's so many good movies that come out internationally. It's insane.
Yeah.
The best movies of the year are most of the time not even made in this country. Like, you got to search for them. And I wish the Oscars had a little bit more spotlight on some of those. And there's a movie called Decision to Leave that came out that was a huge snub. So many people were upset about this. It was a South Korean film by one of my favorite directors of all time. He made a movie called Old Boy, which is phenomenal, and it didn't get nominated. So
Korean films are actually really good. I've seen some really, really good Korean films.
Mm-hmm.
So international films are definitely kind of an untapped market when it comes to if you're gonna watch a film, like, international films are pretty dang good.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are.
All right. Well, I guess with that, we will move on. We'll go back to some of our technical elements. So let's go ahead and announce the Makeup and Hairstyling Award.
Yeah.
So the nominees for this one were The Whale, All Quiet on the Western Front, The Batman, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, and Elvis. And the winner for this one was The Whale.
Let's go.
Let's go. Okay, this is another one that I have not seen, but it is definitely on my watch list because, oh my god, just in general, just from seeing the trailer and just clips, I want to watch this movie so freaking bad.
It's an amazing movie. I got to see it at the theater, and I was stifling back tears because I was in a crowded theater and I didn't want to make noise, but I was crying in the theater.
Yeah.
It's very emotional.
And I think we should probably say the makeup and hairstyling, the reason why this one won is most likely because of the fat suit that Brendan Fraser
100%.
wears.
I mean,
I think that's the only, I think that's the only real, I mean, I don't know if there's, SFX or anything like that, but...
I mean, other than just, basic, stage makeup for everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
No, but, I mean, it really, even though it is just the one part, it is, it genuinely deserves it. I never broke my illusion. It genuinely looked like he weighed 600 pounds. And the way that he acted physically with it complemented the suit so well. So I'm very happy that one won.
Well, yeah, because it's so much more than like, you know, the stereotypical like stuff pillows into your shirt and you look bigger. Like it is so much more than that, because we see him with from like the clips that I've seen, like you see him wearing shorts. You see him fully nude in the shower. Like, it is a full body suit.
Yeah, multiple scenes where you get to see the full suit, like the whole thing, and it's seamless. It's amazing.
It's a technical wonder, and I commend Brendan Fraser for wearing it, because I bet it was heavy. I bet it was hot.
Yeah, I'm sure it was really hot. Yeah.
Oh my god, I should have looked it up beforehand to find out like how long it took him to do that makeup, because good lord. I could not imagine sitting like that. That probably was like hours and hours in a makeup chair, and I could not do that.
Remember that piece of trivia for Seven that the sloth victim had to have makeup applied for like 12 hours or something? Yeah. Wild.
It's wild, dude.
The only other one from this category that I really have any notes for is the Batman.
Oh yeah.
I would have been I love the Whale, and that is my top pick. But if the Batman had won, I wouldn't have been very upset, because Colin Farrell's the Penguin is so fantastic looking.
Yeah, I mean, I literally wrote it down in like my like miscellaneous notes for this. How hilarious is it that image that stumped both you and me, or at least me, because like I was the one that didn't recognize it was Colin freaking Farrell.
Yeah.
I didn't recognize him in that makeup, and that was nominated for a freaking Oscar.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It totally deserved that nomination.
I just also, I don't know. I wouldn't have been angry if it was the Batman, but like I definitely feel like, I mean, the Penguin was one of the only things of like makeup, at least for specifically SFX.
This is true. It was a lot like when you think of the makeup, it's like Penguin, and there's not much.
Yeah,
else
there's
that
not
you
much
think
else
of,
than
but,
that. So that would be the only thing I'd be like, are you like really? I mean, like you said, I wouldn't have been mad about it, but like I do think that the Whale deserved this. Either that or Black Panther. I feel like they did some really good makeup for the Black Panther movie too.
Yeah, the makeup's good in Black Panther for sure, and even O'Connor on the Western Front had some decent makeup in it too. But
So congrats to Adrienne Moreau, Judy Chin, and Anne Marie Bradley for your win with best makeup and hairstyling of 2022. All right, so moving onwards, we'll do production design. We'll do, there we go. So best production design. The nominees were All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar, The Way of Water, Babylon, Elvis, and The Fabelmans. And the winner was All Quiet on the Western Front, which I'm not mad at. I'm not mad at that one.
This is maybe one of the categories that, specifically this year, I just don't really have many strong feelings towards.
No.
Like, I don't, like, most of these movies, like, I just don't remember the production design, like, blowing my mind, but I don't think any of them were bad.
No, definitely not bad.
They were all perfectly decent.
I mean, I'm not
even Elvis, like some of the stages and stuff were like really cool.
Yeah, the stages looked from the couple clips that I did see of Elvis, it was pretty cool to see like how they recreated some of those sets.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, Avatar: The Way of Water was pretty interesting too, in terms of like, you know, because most of that movie was CG.
Right, and that's like an alien environment that they have to create like on their own, which is a lot of work and talent has to go into that. So some good choices here.
Yeah. So for that one, we have to congratulate Christian M. Goldbeck, who was the production designer, and Ernestine Hipper, who was the set decorator. So congratulations for your win on Best Production Design. Moving on, we are going to costume design. So this one, the nominations were movies that were nominated were Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, Babylon, Elvis, Everything Everywhere All at Once, and Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris. And the winner for this one was Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, which I am most definitely not mad at. I think the costumes in that movie were really amazing, and I think it was really cool to see.
Yeah, I'm not mad about that, especially like I do think and want to give this one to Everything Everywhere All at Once, just because of the sheer amount of like off the wall costumes that were in that movie.
Yeah, especially with Joy.
Yeah,
with
Joy.
Like
Joy steals the show with her costumes.
Absolutely,
it's so crazy. But the costumes in Black Panther are really good.
Yeah,
so.
and this was also a history-making moment because the woman who won this award, I believe her name is
Ruth Carter.
Yeah, Ruth Carter. Ruth Carter is the first Black woman to win 2 Oscars. Because she also won Best Costume Design for the original Black Panther as well as this one.
That's right.
So that's also really cool to think about. So congratulations to Ruth for winning your 2nd Oscar. That's a very, very cool thing to do.
Yeah.
So, moving on. Let's see.
Where would you put an Oscar if you won it?
Ooh, I don't know.
Like, what do you do with it? Like, unless you already have like a trophy shelf.
I mean, I have a shelf full of anime figures. I'd probably like just put it up there, like on the top of it.
I'd probably just put it on top of my movie shelf, like with all my Blu-rays and stuff. That's probably the best spot for it. Actually,
yeah. It's like, yeah, here's my collection of thousands of dollars of Blu-rays and my Oscar.
Yeah, honestly.
All right. So, did you want to do visual effects?
Sure. Yeah. So for best visual effects, let me get to it here. Okay. So best visual effects, the nominees were Avatar: The Way of Water, All Quiet on the Western Front, The Batman, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, and Top Gun: Maverick. And surprising absolutely nobody, Avatar: The Way of Water won.
I was gonna say there was no contest here.
If there was anything that you could be sure of in the world, it was that Avatar was gonna win for best visual effects.
Absolutely.
As it should. As it should. The visual
yeah.
effects were fantastic in that movie.
Yeah, I mean, watching some of the behind the scenes, I watched how they did some of the like mocap stuff with like because they had like live models that were wearing like blue screen suits and like the motion mocap dots all over their face.
Yeah.
And that kind of stuff. And that kind of stuff will never not be cool to me. Like figuring out how they do that and have it so like streamlined and like how you can capture someone's movement and then make it animated.
Yeah.
I think that's the coolest thing ever because they do it for video games. They do it for like movies where like you can't really have the characters in Avatar living or like in as like costumes. They're too big and it's not gonna look good.
Right.
So yeah, it was really cool to see.
I've heard the behind the scenes features for both of the Avatar movies are just out of this world insane.
Well, yeah,
I was really looking forward to it.
Yeah.
To watching them.
I was specifically looking at one of the like water scenes that they shoot, and I saw that like they are in like a body of water,
right?
But like the water is covered with like ping pong balls. And then like for the mocap.
They track it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
That's how they track the water.
That's
and like
awesome.
Especially when they're like bringing people out of the water, where they're coming out of water, you can see how the water disperses with the little like with the mocap with the motion capture.
That's so crazy.
It's so wild.
That is insane.
Because like animating water is one of the hardest things ever.
Oh yeah.
Especially when it comes to like 3D, when it comes to like making it look realistic. So yeah. Definitely, there was no contest here. Avatar: The Way of Water was going to win.
Yeah.
I mean, as much as I would love to give it to the Batman for, the visual effects with the cars and the scenery and like the city,
the flooding,
or maybe with Top Gun: Maverick and how they filmed some of the like the plane scenes. Yeah, this one was definitely going to Avatar.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely.
Congratulations to Joe Lettery, Richard Banaham, Eric Sandin, and Daniel Barrett for your win with Best Visual Effects. All right, let's keep it moving on to. We got some big ones coming up now.
Yeah, we're into the home stretch here.
Yeah,
big
so
ones.
we should do. Wait, let's see which one we should do first.
I got film editing pulled up here if we want to.
Okay, sure, we can do editing. Yep.
Sure. All right, so for film editing. The nominees were Everything Everywhere All at Once, The Banshees of Inisherin, Elvis, Tar, and Top Gun: Maverick. And the winner, for their either second or third Oscar that we've talked about now was Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yes.
And again, this one absolutely deserved it.
Absolutely. The editing was wild.
It is wild. It is really wild, but not in a bad way. Not in a way that's like too much or overstimulating. It's overstimulating when it needs to be, but it knows when to like dial it back.
Mm-hmm.
There's a movie on this list that didn't know when to do that, and that was Elvis.
Yeah.
Elvis had the worst editing out of any movie I've seen this year.
That's what I've heard from people that have seen it.
Yeah.
So.
It's crazy. It's crazy that it's up here with Banshees and Tar and Everything Everywhere and Top Gun Maverick too. Like it's such an outlier in this group, and I don't, because I think some people think that a movie that has the most editing is the most well edited one, when like that is so not the case.
Yeah. If
Everything,
you're gonna edit, do it well.
Exactly. It needs to fit the story that you're telling. And for Elvis, it didn't. It was just weird and choppy and trailer-esque for no reason. But Everything Everywhere, the editing really complements the tone, the style that they're going for, the comedy in a lot of cases. It's just a fantastic editing. And the coolest part is that the editor for this movie, this is like the second movie he's ever edited before.
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah, he literally like went up and like accepted his award, and he was like, "Wow, so this is like my second movie ever."
Yeah,
that is wild.
It's so crazy. Like,
yeah.
Good for him. Like, that's fantastic.
Absolutely. Congratulations to James Friend, who was the editor for this movie. Yeah, wow, that's crazy that this is your second film ever, and that it wins an Oscar with little to no contest. I mean, I read that wrong.
I was just gonna say, I was like, I don't know that was
the next one. Never mind. Hold on. I'm sorry. That was Paul Rogers was the editor for Everything Everywhere All at Once. I was jumping ahead a little bit. That was my bad.
You're good.
But yeah, congratulations for that. That's really, really cool to like have your second movie ever be your like the best film editing.
Yeah, I mean, I basically edit for a living.
Yeah.
At this point, so yeah, in my professional opinion.
My professional opinion.
Everything Everywhere deserves it.
Okay, I guess since I already kind of spoiled it, we can move on to cinematography. Like best cinematography in film. So the nominees for this one were All Quiet on the Western Front, Bardo, False Chronicle of a Handful of Truths, Elvis, Empire of Light, and Tar. And the winner for this one was All Quiet on the Western Front.
Yep.
So I think I'm okay with that.
This is a very like safe choice. It's like the movie genuinely does have some really good cinematography in it. So it's like by no means is that a bad choice. This is just an example of a category that is so stacked with powerhouses.
Oh yeah.
Tar, the cinematography in Tar is unrivaled by anything I've seen in ages. And especially the same thing goes for Bardo, False Chronicles of a Handful of Truth.
You saw that one?
I did.
Okay.
I'm like the only person on planet Earth that's seen that movie. And it is phenomenally shot. It is so freaking gorgeous.
Yeah.
People need to see this movie. It's on Netflix, and it's by the director of The Revenant and Birdman and a bunch of other movies that are just phenomenal. So this was a stacked category, so by no means is All Quiet on the Western Front a bad pick.
Yeah.
But there are other movies that equally deserved it.
Yeah. Also, from the clips I've seen of Empire of Light, the cinematography does look really good.
I've not seen Empire of Light, but it was shot by Roger Deakins, who's like the most famous cinematographer in the whole business.
Well, then that's kind of a no-brainer. So
yeah.
This one is a congratulations to James Friend. I'm sorry for messing that up earlier, but you definitely deserve a commendment for this wonderful achievement. So
yeah, good job, James.
Good job, James. All right, so moving on, we have Best Directing.
All right, so Best Directing, our nominees were Daniel Kwan and Daniel Scheinert for Everything Everywhere All at Once, Martin McDonagh for The Banshees of Inisherin, Steven Spielberg for The Fabelmans, Todd Field for Tar, and Ruben Östlund for Triangle of Sadness. And the winner was Daniel Kwan and Daniel Scheinert.
For Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yep.
Absolutely. I think this one was also very well deserved.
Yeah, these two guys deserve it. I mean, like, how cool is that? We talked about Swiss Army Man like before this movie had ever even come out. Like we were on that. we talked about the Daniels before they were cool.
So the Daniels did Swiss Army Man?
The Daniels did Swiss Army Man, yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I didn't put that together. That's so awesome, actually.
Yeah, it's incredibly amazing. The directors who made like a movie where freaking Daniel Radcliffe gets like a boner compass. They won an Oscar.
They won an Oscar, dude. That's so cool.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. That's really awesome. I completely didn't even put that together that they also directed Swiss Army Man.
Yeah, no, it's genuinely like it's awesome. They've really only made like one movie together before, and that was Swiss Army Man. So this is their second outing, and man, they cleaned up.
I mean, A24 has definitely had a huge presence in this year's Oscars.
Yeah, I'm so happy that they're more prevalent in a lot of these categories.
Yeah, we'll talk about it more when we get more up there, but yeah, A24 is really good. I think we need to talk about more A24 movies.
I know, it's such a shame that Levon left, because we were going to talk about A24 movies with him. We were going to talk about so many
more A24 movies, and then he left us.
Yeah.
Now we have to do it on our own.
Yeah. we talked about Tusk.
We did.
The same company that made Everything Everywhere All at Once made Tusk.
I forgot that was another
That's
A24.
So crazy.
The range in not a good way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh God. Okay. So now I think we're moving on to the big four.
Yeah, we're on
the
to
big
the
actors.
acting nominations.
Do we want to start with supporting or leading?
Let's go supporting.
All right. So let's start with actress in a supporting role.
Sounds
so
good.
The nominees for this one were Jamie Lee Curtis for Everything Everywhere All at Once, Angela Bassett for Black Panther Wakanda Forever, Hong Chow for The Whale, Carrie Condon for The Banshees of Inisherin, and Stephanie Hsu for Everything Everywhere All at Once. And the winner was Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah,
which was amazing.
This was a huge upset.
It was actually an upset.
People were very upset about this one. I can't bring myself to say I'm upset. I really like Jamie Lee Curtis.
Absolutely,
she's an icon. And she's worked in the industry for a really long time. And I think this was there are some awards that are called legacy awards, which is when they'll give it to somebody who's worked in the field who's really prevalent, who's done a lot and is very iconic. And it might not be their best work ever, but they will still give them the award because it's like their time, right? Mm-hmm. And so that's what a lot of people are claiming this Jamie Lee Curtis win is. Because, I mean, this is another category where Jamie Lee Curtis does a fantastic job.
Absolutely.
In Everything Everywhere. She's so funny. She plays her part so well. She's just not in it for a lot of the movie.
Yeah, that's the biggest argument that I've seen, is that she's very minor to the plot. And I've seen so many people believe very strongly that Stephanie Hsu, who plays Joy in the movie, deserved the win, which I do agree with to some extent. It's my same kind of argument with Angela Bassett as well, because I do also believe that she was a very good contender for this award.
She gave a very, very good performance.
She did, absolutely. But I also really like Jamie Lee Curtis, and I also think that she had a very, very humble start with getting into like her first movie ever was Halloween.
Yeah.
So and she spent her whole life with that series, and she's like gone on to do so much greater things. And I do believe that even though there were plenty of others in this category that did deserve this, I believe Jamie Lee Curtis is among those. So
yeah, no, she did a great job, and I'm very happy that she got her moment.
yeah, and it's her first Oscar, so that's really cool too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Keep at it, Jamie.
Yeah, I loved her speech talking about like I am not one person, I am thousands of people, and then she like thanked literally everybody that she had in her life for the achievement. So
Yeah.
So congratulations, Jamie. You are amazing, and you are so deserving of this award. All right, moving on to actor in a supporting role. So the nominees were Ke Huy Quan in Everything Everywhere All at Once, Brendan Gleeson in The Banshees of Inisherin, Brian Tyree Henry in Causeway, Judd Hirsch in The Fabelmans, and Barry Keoghan in The Banshees of Inisherin. And the winner was Ke Huy Quan from Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yep.
I don't think there was any debate about this?
No.
I don't think so.
Not really.
No.
Not really.
Absolutely.
It was not going to Judd Hirsch. It was definitely not going to Brian Tyree Henry. Not based on their quality of their performance, just because like there are certain awards that you just like expect certain people are going to win, and no one doubted for a minute that Ke Huy Quan would not win.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm pretty sure I think he and Jamie Lee Curtis both won SAG awards for this too, the Screen Actors Guild.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Awesome.
So I think Ke is just so good. I love him so much.
This was the best part of the whole Oscars for me. It was the best part of the whole night. I was sobbing and I'm not even like being hyperbolic, like multiple tears were streaming down my face during his speech. It was so genuine and so humble and sweet, and he's just the best guy ever. I know I'm like the millionth person to say this, but I'm just so happy he got his moment.
He just seems like the nicest guy ever.
Yeah.
And I would love to meet him someday. Like, he's so cool.
Yeah, he seems like such a genuine, earnest guy, you know, especially in an industry where a lot of people are like, couldn't be more opposite. He's like a nice shining beacon in that industry. And it's such a like, it's like a comeback story, you know. For a long time he thought that he wasn't going to get any roles anymore. He's talked about this openly. He's like, yeah, I thought after my time on Indiana Jones, I thought I wouldn't get any more roles after that, really.
Yeah, because I didn't realize this until I actually like looked into it more, like when I first learned that he was nominated, and when Everything Everywhere started getting really popular. I didn't realize that he was the kid actor who played Short Round in Temple of Doom.
Yeah,
and that was so cool to learn that he's gotten this far. And he was also in The Encino Man and Goonies.
Yeah, and he's awesome in the Goonies too, actually. So
it's so inspiring to hear like child actors actually getting to this point. Because like child actors are it's very touchy whenever you decide to use child actors for a production, but especially in this case, I think it absolutely works, and I think Ke Huy Quan absolutely deserves this award.
Yeah, it was so cool. Best moment of the whole night for me.
Absolutely, best moment of the whole night. So, congratulations, Ke Huy Quan, for your win. It is 1,000,000% deserved. Probably, definitely one of the most deserved of the night. Yeah. So,
and congratulations to the other nominees too, because they did some amazing jobs. Barry Keoghan in particular, and Brendan Gleeson from the Banshees. I mean, those were both knockout performances as well. So yeah.
So I guess we'll move on now to the leading roles.
Yes.
So the nominees for this one were Michelle Yeoh from Everything Everywhere All at Once, Cate Blanchett in Tar, Ana de Armas from Blonde, Andrea Riseborough in To Leslie, and Michelle Williams in The Fabelmans. And the winner for this one was Michelle Yeoh from Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yep.
That's amazing.
It is amazing.
Again, it's kind of the same argument it's kind of the same thing as with the actor in a supporting role before. Absolutely deserved.
Yeah.
I think Michelle Yeoh is amazing as Evelyn in Everything Everywhere.
She kills it.
She absolutely kills it.
She kills it for sure, yeah. She absolutely deserved the win. The only other person that I would have been happy if Cate Blanchett had won for Tar. It is one of the best performances of the year, but Michelle Yeoh, I think she really deserved it.
Absolutely.
And especially Cate Blanchett has 2 Oscars already.
Well, yeah.
So I mean, you know, that gets into like, well, should we give it to people that deserve it more, or people like based on their performances? I don't know, because they're 2 different. Cate Blanchett's performance in Tar is so serious; it's so different from Michelle Yeoh's in Everything Everywhere. They're just, you almost can't compare them. So
yeah,
I'm extremely happy for Michelle Yeoh. She absolutely knocked it out of the park in Everything Everywhere.
Yeah. Well, there were some actually historic moments that I missed that I had written down. So with going back to Ke Huy Quan's win. This was his first Oscar, like we already talked about. And he is the first actor born in Vietnam to win an Oscar for Best Supporting Actor.
Oh, good for him.
And in the same vein, Michelle Yeoh is the first Asian woman to win the award for Best Actress.
Really? The
Yes.
first Asian woman to win?
Yes.
Wow. I didn't know we were that far behind.
Yeah.
I thought that had happened a long time ago.
Yes,
Dang.
it's pretty crazy how far we've come since, the times of, because I mean, race is always a huge thing in movies, and getting to because a big part of Everything Everywhere All at Once is also culture, because the main family is Chinese, and it really explores that culture and a lot of the morals behind it. And I think it's so cool to see those kind of stories get told.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we need more stories like that.
Absolutely. So congratulations, Michelle Yeoh. You are amazing. You are a queen. And I am so happy that she won this, because she says it after she gave a small interview after winning and being on the red carpet, and when asked what are your thoughts right now, she kind of said I hope it's not the last time that someone like me wins this award.
Yeah.
So that's really, really cool. So now we will move on to the best actor in a leading role.
Yeah, we're in the home stretch.
We're in the home stretch now. We've got 2 more. This is the second one, and then we're moving.
Penultimate question.
The penultimate question. So the nominees for this one were Brendan Fraser in The Whale, Austin Butler in Elvis, Colin Farrell in The Banshees of Inisherin, Paul Mescal in After Sun, and Bill Nighy. Sorry, not Bill Nye. Sorry, Bill Nighy in Living. And the winner for this one was Brendan Fraser.
Yeah, and this was another great moment of the night.
Absolutely. 100% deserved. I mean, we were talking about it with the actress in a supporting role, but I absolutely have no complaints with the main 4 for this one.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Brendan Fraser, Ke Huy Quan, Michelle Yeoh, and Jamie Lee Curtis, all very, very deserving of these awards.
Yeah, certain moments from Brendan Fraser's performance in The Whale are I'll never forget them. It's so moving. It's
Absolutely.
so touching. He just kills it. He does such a phenomenal job. I'm so glad he got the recognition. There was a part of me that was, and I think a part of a lot of people, that were really worried that Austin Butler's Elvis was gonna win. I am vocally not an Elvis fan.
Yeah.
And Austin Butler did a pretty darn good job in that movie. But it was so tense leading up to this, because the Oscars love to give acting awards to people from biopics. They absolutely love it.
Because was that one a biopic?
Not Sam Raimi. What's his name? Rami Malek. Rami Malek won for Bohemian Rhapsody. There's others that I'm not thinking of. That one was really good.
I liked Bohemian Rhapsody.
That performance was totally justified. I'm totally happy with that one. But so there is this precedent set already, and I was worried that the Oscars was going to stick to that. But they didn't. They gave it to the person I think genuinely deserved it the most. Colin Farrell is also really good in The Banshees of Inisherin. Really good.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, just thinking of Brendan Fraser and like how far his career has come until now. Because like he had been on a break from acting for a while until this movie, and like he was out of Hollywood for a really long time, and to have this be his comeback was so rewarding to see.
It was, yeah. The Oscars ceremony was a big night for really sweet guys.
Yeah.
It was a really good night for comeback stories from Brendan Fraser and Ke Huy Quan. It was just they really made some of the right picks that night. I'm very happy with how it turned out.
Yeah, especially for like the top four, like the four like actor, like all the actor awards. I saw that part of the ceremony was really, really special because it was a lot of humble people that were finally getting to see their hard work that they've put into their careers pay off.
Yeah.
And that's so rewarding, not even just as the person getting the award, but just to see. Like to have that and to like see those beautiful moments on stage is wild. And I definitely all four of them absolutely deserved these awards this year.
For sure.
I feel bad talking up the Oscars so much because I feel I just have a sinking feeling that something's going to happen next year and it's not going to be as good. I don't know what movies are coming out this year that.
Well, yeah, a lot of the times it just depends on the movies that come out. But
I mean, have there been any movies that have come out this year that you predict that might end up in the Oscars?
Nothing that I've seen.
I don't
think
either.
Cocaine Bear is really gonna have much of a chance at the Oscars. I'm gonna keep it real with you.
He was there.
He was there. That's right. Oh man, I forgot about that.
Somebody showed up in a bear suit and they were like, "It's Cocaine Bear."
Yeah.
I haven't seen it. Have you?
I have. Yeah.
It's
ridiculous. It's completely ridiculous.
I don't know what else you expect out of a movie called Cocaine Bear.
Yeah. There were sometimes it was ridiculous in a good way, and there was sometimes a lot of times it was ridiculous in a not good way.
Yeah.
But whatever. Cocaine Bear's not nominated.
Cocaine Bear's not really important. We're here to finally close out this award ceremony with awarding Best Picture.
Yes.
So let's see here. So the nominees for this one were Everything Everywhere All at Once, All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar: The Way of Water, Elvis, The Fabelmans, Tar, Top Gun: Maverick, Triangle of Sadness, and Women Talking.
And The Banshees of Inisherin.
I did skip that one. Thank you for grabbing that.
Yeah, you're good.
And the winner for this one was Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yep.
Which this is their 7th Oscar of the night. Seventh, right? Yeah. So they were nominated for 11, won 7. That's absolutely deserved.
Yeah, it brings the night together. It ties up everything in a nice little bow. It deserved it.
Yeah.
So much.
This moment too was really nice for me, like watching them get awarded this because Harrison Ford was the was the one to give out this award. And immediately once Everything Everywhere All at Once was like announced, Ke Huy Quan runs up on stage and immediately hugs Harrison Ford, and like it was the cutest like Indian short round reunion, and like oh my god, like having that movie like in the back of my head is nostalgia. It was the cutest thing ever. I loved it so much.
Yeah, it was great. It was a very touching moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only ones that I haven't seen from this list were Women Talking and Top Gun: Maverick, but I mean,
so did you saw Triangle of Sadness?
I did see Triangle of Sadness.
Did you like it?
Really good movie.
Okay.
Really, really good movie. I would recommend that movie to anybody. It's
because I'm trying to remember the act. Is it Woody Harrelson who's in it?
Woody Harrelson's in it. Yeah.
Okay. That was like I'm trying to remember.
So funny in that movie.
Well, I mean, Woody Harrelson's funny in general.
Well, fair enough. But it's one of like my favorite roles he's ever done. I would recommend that movie to anybody. And I'm really happy that it got nominated for some stuff. Just that it got some attention.
Yeah, I mean, it did go home empty-handed, but like at the same time, like I was saying before, like just getting the name of your movie out there at the Oscars is rewarding enough. Like even if you don't go home with that little gold trophy, you still made it to the Oscars.
True. So, and Triangle of Sadness, I don't exactly feel too bad for it. It won the Palme d'Or at the Cannes Film Festival.
What is that?
The Cannes Film Festival is like the biggest, most prestigious
like the
film
festival, the Cannes Film Festival.
Yeah, and their award, basically just Best Picture, for Cannes, is just all the movies that were like eligible are voted on, and they get the Palme d'Or. And Triangle of Sadness won.
Okay, so
this year.
This won the Cannes Film Festival.
Yep.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
So, and that is an incredibly prestigious award.
Absolutely, that's one of the biggest film festivals in the world.
Oh yeah,
right?
100%. So that one did get its moment. So I don't feel too bad that one didn't win, but yeah, just some really great choices this year. But I think they went with the one that deserved it the most.
Yeah, absolutely. This brings me to my last point of like history making moments.
Mm-hmm.
A24 has become the first studio to sweep the top 6.
Oh wow!
So they got
really?
Best Picture, Best Director, and all 4 acting awards, because I'm pretty sure The Whale was also A24.
It was. Yep.
So
it was.
Not I mean, like take like. Everything Everywhere All at Once obviously swept, but like the Whale also is an A24 movie, so still by the same studio, still by the amazing crew that worked through that studio. Like, God, everything's amazing right now.
Yeah,
I feel so good talking about this. Like,
yeah,
it feels so good to like be able to give these people like the recognition they deserve for like really, really good movies.
Absolutely, yeah.
So, because it's not. I mean, a lot of people can be like, I mean, giving out awards for like, you know, any awards show, like whether you're talking about the Oscars or the Grammys or the Tonys or whatever awards that you could give out, it's always going to be subjective. Somebody's not going to agree.
Sure.
Somebody's not going to like, and somebody's going to be mad about the choice. But like, I don't know. It's just always so cool to see like everything kind of like the stars align and like everything work out.
Yeah.
So
absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like we said at the beginning, this was a really good year for the Oscars.
Yeah.
Made some good historic moments, got some really nice speeches, got some very deserving wins. I mean, yeah, the only thing, you know, I'm a little sad that Banshees walked away with nothing. Same with Tar. But, you know, Everything Everywhere, it is what it is.
And it is what it is.
It deserved what it got. So, yeah.
I don't know about you, but like in memoriam segments at award shows always make me so teary. I don't know why it is, but like whenever they do like the in memoriam segments of like people who have died that year, it's always so sad for me. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I always just forget about all the people that died.
Well, yeah,
I was like, oh, darn it, that we lost them.
Yeah, well, I mean, I will say I did watch the Screen Actors Guild Awards, and I think the in memoriam segment of that award show was a bit better than this one, mostly because like it featured some clips of the people who had passed this year, but like we lost a lot of great actors this last year.
Yeah.
Like we lost like Angela Lansbury, James Caan, Olivia Newton-John, Ray Liotta, and Paul Sorvino.
Ray Liotta, yeah, I forgot about Ray Liotta.
I can't believe it. Yeah, we like when we talked about Goodfellas, like that's so surreal to think that like we talked about Goodfellas way back when, and now that's kind of like a memorial now, because like Ray Liotta was still alive when we talked about that movie. So it's so sad. Like,
yeah,
I don't know what it is. It always just hits me in the feels when I realize like, because like I mean I, like many kids who grew up with Disney, like knew Angela Lansbury because she's the voice of Mrs. Potts.
Oh,
yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
gotcha.
She's so talented as a singer, and she's so good, but she unfortunately passed away this last year. So it's the same thing with James Caan too, and like
James Caan, yeah, that was rough.
Yeah.
James Caan was a phenomenal actor.
Olivia Newton-John was also a sad one that passed away. I'm trying to think of more, but like I just keep coming up empty.
Yeah.
Like there's so many. If you wanna cry, go watch the In Memoriam segment for the student. I keep saying student. It's the Screen Actors Guild awards show. So yeah, if you want to get sad, go watch that and think about all the good actors that we lost in this last year. So
yeah, and Kevin Conroy died too.
Kevin Conroy, yeah,
the voice of Batman
Yeah.
in so many things.
Yeah.
He wasn't even in the In Memoriam at the Oscars.
No, he was. Well, there was a lot of people who weren't in that. Like, I mean, Ray Liotta was, but Paul Sorvino wasn't.
That's true. Yeah, yeah. It's well, and they have at the end. It's like for a list of the full memorial, go to whatever.
Yeah, but specifically for the Screen Actors Guild, that is only for actors. That is not for any. And
that
like
makes
with
sense,
the
yeah.
Oscars, they also included like directors, crew,
Yeah, they do like
publicists,
production design, and
production
makeup.
designers.
Yeah,
They probably had way more on their plate to include that everyone would have been sitting there for like 2 hours if they had to go through every single one.
yeah, for sure.
But
no, yeah.
Award show in memoriams always just get me in my feels.
Yeah.
So rest in peace to all of you that we lost in the last year. So your works will never be forgotten by us. So
yeah,
I guess with that, I think that's it.
That's 2022.
That's a wrap
That's
on 2022.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't believe how much Everything Everywhere All at Once swept.
Yeah.
Like yes, 11 nominated, 7 won. That's just crazy.
It is an absurd amount of wins, but in a very good way.
In an amazing way. Like they got Best Picture, Best Actress, Best Supporting Actress, Best Supporting Actor, Best Directing, Best Original Screenplay, Best Film Editing. That's a pretty well-rounded like set of awards.
Oh yeah.
Like
For
and
sure.
even then, like even for the ones that it didn't win, like it was still nominated for stuff like with music, with like cinematography. I think it might not have been nominated for cinematography, but like regardless, still just thinking about that is just wild that a movie can be so good and like it was an earth-shattering movie. Like everybody, like I don't think I've met one person who dislikes this movie. So
My mom didn't like it.
Oh no.
Which is the saddest thing that I've heard in months was when I showed her that movie and she's like, yeah, I don't know why does everybody like this? Why does everybody cry during this movie? And meanwhile, I cried for like the third time while watching it.
Yeah, it's the bit where he tells her like, in another life I would be content to do laundry and
I would have
taxes
loved
with
just
you
doing
in
laundry
another
and
life.
taxes with you. Yeah.
Yeah,
or
so
when
sad.
or when he talks about like I make what you think is my flaw is what I do on purpose. Like I purposely choose to see the world through this like positive light, because how else would you survive if you didn't do that? It's just so touching. It's amazing. It's a really, really amazing movie.
Yeah.
It's not often we get movies like Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Waymond is literally one of my favorite characters in all of cinema. Like literally ever. He is literally one of my favorite characters in any movie ever.
Yeah.
I love him so much. And like, yeah, just his relationship with Evelyn is just peak. It's so good. And yeah, like, and it also like I meant to talk about this too, because like this is kind of getting into like the actual movie itself, but it's not a spoiler. Not gonna spoil anything. Like we just talked about some of the like lines, but we didn't actually spoil anything, so we're fine. But I really liked the way that it like combined everyday life with something as abnormal as like dimension jumping. It really like it's really hard to get that balance right. Like you can have a movie that really fits as like a normal organic world, but it's really hard to like put a supernatural element into that.
Yeah.
And this movie does it really well.
It does. It does it extremely well. It does such a good job at like creating this world, creating this fantasy, these like futuristic ideas without ever like bogging the audience down or like, you know, once upon a time the Xenoglorps and the Jujumons had a fight and it resulted in a society and that's where I come from and you need to come with me. Like they don't even go to like realms like when they jump to different universes, it's like, oh yeah, this is the universe with hot dogs for fingers.
Yeah.
This is the universe where Rakakuni exists. Like
Rakakuni.
like it's so fun and it's so like not trying to, it doesn't take itself so seriously, but when it needs to, it really does, and it really hits.
Absolutely. I 100% agree. It's so rare that you see a movie that like doesn't take itself too seriously, but at the same time absolutely does.
Yeah, it knows when to be incredibly funny, and then it knows when to hit you incredibly in the feels. And sometimes they can even like combine those two emotions and you'll be laughing and crying at the same time. It's a phenomenal movie.
It's such a good movie. I literally I recommend, I would say that I would recommend almost every single movie that I've given a good rating on this podcast, but I don't think I could say that anymore for this movie. If you've somehow not seen Everything Everywhere All at Once like I have for the last like few months, it'll change your life. I am a different person than I was at like 8 p.m. when I started watching this movie. It's just so good.
It is.
Like, yeah, it's so amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even with its use of like regular everyday items as these kind of things, like the whole plot of the movie centers around a bagel, and I'm not joking.
Yeah, a bagel and googly eyes.
Googly eyes, rocks sometimes.
yeah.
Yeah, it's such a good movie. I would 100% recommend.
It's so cool that like it really speaks to how accessible the movie is that the Academy chose to vote for this, because it's pretty out there in a lot of like. It's very weird. It's not afraid to be weird. It's not afraid to be really over the top and like goofy. And I you know, it's a good direction that the Oscars are taking, that they can see a movie like that and recognize how well made it is. Like I feel like 20 years ago, a movie like this would more likely be like written off, or like, this isn't an Oscar movie, this is stupid, they have hot dogs for fingers. This is a movie for kids, it's a movie for dumb teenagers, like this isn't a prestigious Oscar movie. But no, we kind of live in a time now where like people recognize like that you can be absurdist, you can be weird, you can try new things and do them really well, and in ways that you never even thought possible.
Yeah. I mean, in this movie, we literally get Jamie Curtis as a lesbian with hot dog fingers.
Yeah.
I love that so much.
Yeah.
That is the best thing that I've ever seen in a movie.
Yeah.
It's so cool. Yeah, I don't know. We could gush on about that movie forever, but I think we do need to wrap it up for the night.
Yeah.
We're getting close to our time here. So if you are still here, thank you for listening. We really appreciate you. And yeah, I guess for next week is still kind of out there. We're going to try to figure out something, and hopefully it will be another movie review. But if you are curious and would like to know when exactly or what exactly we will be doing, follow our Twitter, because our Twitter will be the most up-to-date knowledge of what we'll be doing. I try to keep that updated and send out updates about what we're doing, and about like reminders like, hey, listen to our podcast, because we're on air. So keep watch of our Twitter to find out what we'll be doing next week.
Yep. YouTube channels for the older uploads.
Yes.
That you can go back and rewatch at any time. Also on Spotify.
Yeah. I try to keep our Spotify updated, especially even with the with the videos that are already edited. Not all of our like studio episodes are quite there yet. We're still working through the backlog of episodes, but hopefully we will be caught up eventually.
Yeah,
I'm not
absolutely.
sure yet, but
you know, what's that? You just watched the Star Wars movies again? Guess what? We got an episode for that. You can go listen to us talk about it. Oh, you just watched Planes, Trains, and Automobiles? Oh, well, we got a podcast on that. Go listen to the episode.
Yeah.
Like keep the movie experience going a little while afterwards.
Keep the movie experience going and hear what we have to say about it, because we love talking about movies. So
yeah.
if you have any questions for us, please feel free to leave them in our YouTube comments or Twitter DMs, or comment them on Twitter. Whatever you want. If you want to ask us questions, we will do our best to answer them on air the best that we can.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess with that, Jack, did you have anything else?
It was a good Oscars.
It was really good Oscars.
Good
this
Oscars,
year.
good time. Had a really good time. I stood up and like screamed when Brendan Fraser won for The Whale. I was
as
like,
you should.
yes,
as you should. It absolutely deserved to win.
Yeah. So it got pretty hype at a certain point.
Yeah. Well, I guess with that, we will sign off for the evening, and we will see you next week.
All right. Catch you later.